Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Megan. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm well, Nancy. How about you?
I'm good. This is one of my favorite topics. I get messages all the time from my clients on my walkie-talkie app that I have with my one-on-one clients about money, talking about money. They're so uptight talking about money with their clients all the time. So I
Mm,
think this is a great topic. Did you ever struggle with talking about money?
Absolutely, I did.
Me too.
hmm
Me too. I think it's normal as we grow in our own businesses and in our confidence, getting that calm about talking about money. And I always say, and I've said this before, talking about money with your clients should be like talking about breakfast. Like, and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but that's how I want someone to feel. I don't want their heart racing when they're presenting their numbers and getting sweaty, and just the whole time at a consult, they're dwelling on when it comes time for the numbers, it's going to be bad. Like how should it's
Yeah.
like they lose their whole flow and their calm and their enjoyment for what they do.
Can I give you a little bit of client perspective on this? Like what it feels like from the client side?
Yes.
So recently we found some work. We live in a really, really old house. Okay. And we found some very significant work that needed to be done, like rotten sill plate type work and tear off the porch and re-pour foundation footings type
Ooh,
work. And so I brought out a friend of mine because he's a contractor and we were talking about all the things that needed to be done and he didn't want to like I was pussyfooting around because Midwesterners, what we do, we're not up front about these types of things. I'm trying to get a number out of him and he just does not want to give it. And so finally I'm like, are we talking like $50,000 here, worst case scenario? Are we talking 100,000? What type of number are we even talking about? And then as the client, like I'm getting more and more anxious of, oh my gosh, what, because it's not covered by insurance. And I'm like, oh, and
right.
when I finally said a number, he's like, oh no, 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 this back part's going to be about $2,000. And like, if he would
Ah,
have just led with that at the front, I mean, the whole conversation would have been different. The conversation would have been a half hour shorter, and it would have like
interesting.
eased my anxiety to just know.
Okay, so that brings us to the very first point, right? And one of the things I work on so hard with my clients when they first come to me is knowing their own numbers. How do you do that? I mean, I had a client early on that I coached that we went through past jobs of hers, and she ended up posting on her wall in her office this particular apartment on this location. She was a New York City interior designer. This is how much it cost. This is what we did. This was the square footage. And she put all her numbers and she had them all over her wall. So if somebody called and said, I like that apartment on your website, but like I have no idea how much that something like that would cost. And she's like, well, that particular apartment costs blah, blah, blah. And these were the specifications of that apartment. What do you have? Right? Knowing your freaking numbers is so hard. And I think it's hardest for new people, right? When they're first starting out. And
Absolutely.
again, I get it. But even as an art consultant, when I was that for 17 years, someone would say, like, oh, this picture, it was loose canvas at the time. They said, oh, I love it. But how much is it going to be to frame it? Anywhere from 300 to 1500, depending on the frame you choose. At least I was able to give a range.
hmm
So people go, oh, well, I don't want to be in the $1,500 range. And 300 is that a cheap frame? Yeah, that's a cheap frame, right? I knew my numbers, not exact, but I could give a range. So I feel like knowing your numbers is the first step to being able to take the anxiety out of talking to your clients about it,
And
like your story, right?
yeah, and it gives you the confidence of going into a situation, even if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Even to this day, I'll bring on a client. I'm like, okay, honestly, I don't know how long this is going to take. We're going to start with this type of retainer, and I'll give you discounted hours within the retainer. I'll give you a limit when we hit our hours, like, the discount ends and we're going to hit more hours, but at least you'll know. They're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's good. And if we have to do the work over 3 months instead of 1 month,
Right.
that's fine. But starting a relationship with a solid footing instead of like, don't worry about it. When you get the bill, you'll get the bill is
Right.
never going to work. ever.
Right. I'm looking at this piece of my hair and it's driving me crazy.
I'll get it. I'll get
Can
it.
you get that for me? Yeah, thanks. Okay, but here's the other thing. The word, well, okay, I can't skip. I'm skipping to the third one. Hold that word
Oh,
retainer
sorry. Yep.
because that word retainer makes me nuts because the word retainer is different for everybody. What the definition is different. But we're gonna skip that one. That's gonna be third, right? So
Okay.
really knowing your numbers, the range that somebody could spend with interior designers, I teach them good, better, best, right? Make sure you understand the different value of different furnishings or different levels of service that you may provide, your own ladder of services. Understand and make decisions. And I'd say that is probably the biggest thing I help people with is make a decision in advance of what your pricing is, what your ranges are, knowing your numbers, so that when you talk to somebody, you are really confident in knowing your numbers best you can, right?
Yeah.
Important.
It's
Number
being
two. Wait,
oh,
no, go ahead.
it's being the authority in the conversation.
Yes,
Be the
driving.
authority. They are looking to you. They are waiting for you.
Yes. And one of my clients yesterday left me a message saying, I finally felt like I was leading the conversation which is exactly what you're saying. She finally felt like the authority because we worked so hard on her understanding her numbers and the script to use to have the conversation about money, right? Some people need a general outline. This is how you talk about money. Other people, they're just born with this natural gift of just presenting like it's no big deal. Other people really need to learn a script, incorporate it into their own personality and language, but that's what gives them the comfort, right? So whatever you need, is that there's a way to learn it, right?
Yeah.
So you want to really know your numbers and get comfortable with your numbers. That's number one. Number two, and this always blows my mind, understanding your own contracts. I cannot tell you how many people come to me. They're using an old contract. They have no idea what it says, or they have a little bit of an idea, or they've purchased my contracts and they just start using them, but they never really read them with a fine-tooth comb. And I'm like, how are you presenting a contract to a client and not understanding the deliverables financially? It
Yeah, and
makes
part of that is the contract is protection for you and your client. Your client wants to know how you are protecting their interests.
correct. And when payments are going to be due. I'm going to go back to making decisions in advance and making sure your contract matches what you think you're saying or what you're saying. It's always shocking to me that people don't know their own contracts. I think you need to review your contracts quarterly to make sure it still matches. And even for interior designers, particularly, making sure, actually, this goes for coaches as well, because you come out with different programs. You want to make sure your contract matches the job, right? So many jobs are different,
Mhm.
right? Constantly tweaking. I'm working with somebody now. We're completely changing because I'm not cookie cutter. I teach for interior designers. I teach a hybrid model, but occasionally you get a job that's completely different. That you have to go. How will I bill for this? How do I make sure I'm getting paid profitably? And then you got to make your decisions and then know your contract and modify your contract accordingly.
Can we just
That's
put that? Can we embroider that on a pillow somewhere? How do I know I'm getting paid profitably? How do?
Oh my God, I have the most beautiful profitability analyzer spreadsheet for past jobs. It's already up in my membership site, but like it's a really basic version. We just blew it up into a beautiful version that's so usable that you could take for every past job you've done and plug in your numbers, and you'll know what percentage of profitability you actually had and how much you got paid hourly if you were tracking your hours. So I'm really excited about that. That goes back to knowing your numbers, right? Know your numbers. All right. Number three, we're going to get into it with this one. The vocabulary that you use to talk about money.
Okay, so I'm going to use a completely unrelated example. When you started this conversation today, you said, my clients have a walkie-talkie app that we that we talk back and forth on. Now, using the term walkie-talkie, if you're not familiar with Voxer, you got it. You totally got it. You got exactly what you were talking about. But if you were to say Voxer, anybody who's never heard of Voxer before would never know what you're talking about.
Correct. Correct. Which is why I say walkie-talkie app instead of saying Voxer, right? Because people go, what's Voxer, right?
Yeah.
So I think the words around what a fifth grader, I use this all the time, what a fifth grader would understand. If you ever want to know whether you are speaking a language that the lion's share of the people in this world will understand in your language, literally say what you're trying to say to a kid. And if a kid understands what you're saying, and this is why I have a pet peeve about the word retainer. What does retainer mean to each individual person? I will
Something
tell
completely
you,
different.
so completely different, right? So I had this big debate when we were developing the contracts that I sell. I was working with David Adler, he's an attorney, and him and I probably we met every Friday for 2 or 3 months. Every Friday, I'm like, let's talk about that word retainer again, because I did not want that word in the contracts that I sell. Why? Because retainer to me, if someone says to me, I need a retainer of $5,000, I'm thinking, okay, here's a retainer to secure your services. And I'm getting that back, right? Because that's, to me, a retainer is that you're retaining it until I get it back. It's like a security deposit, but that's not how a lot of people are using it. What does retainer mean to you?
For me, it's prepaid hours.
Prepaid.
Mm-hmm.
So my point of this, using vocabulary that everyone understands, is why wouldn't you just say and advance on hours of 20, advance on 20 hours equaling blah, 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 instead of using the word retainer, because retainer to your client might mean something completely different. And weeks, months down the road, they're like, wait, where's my money? Right? So, and
Yeah.
I see designers doing this all the time. I see coaches doing this all the time. That word retainer, just.
It brings me back to Good Will Hunting, where he sends his friend into that job interview instead, and he's like, retainer, retainer. And they're like, you want us to pay you?
Right, right. What is your retainer? What is the definition of your retainer? Use those words. So there's no confusion, right? If you take these 3 things, know your numbers, at least know a range so that the example you gave in the beginning was perfect, how uptight you were when you had no idea how much things would cost, not even a clue what the range was. That's a lot of what people are walking into in this day and age. I have no idea how much it could possibly cost. Give somebody a range. The only way you can do that is by starting to learn and know your numbers, not by putting a post in the group and everyone else telling you their numbers. Actually knowing your own numbers is kind of important, everybody. So remember that. Number 2, review your own contracts, whatever contracts you're using, if they're the ones you purchased from me or another coach, or you developed them years ago. It's time to reread them. You're going into the 3rd quarter of 2021, read them and see if they still apply. And then check your vocabulary. If you were having someone talk to you, I love your story, Megan, because I want everyone to put themselves in the shoes of the client. If you take that time to sit and go, what is my client hearing when I use the words I'm using? And if you're using too many industry terminology in your presentation, if you're not watching their body language to see how they're reacting so that you can modify your presentation accordingly, if you see they're getting overwhelmed or nervous, you're doing yourself an injustice. Simple words, so that it's like you're talking about breakfast. No anxiety. We did not talk about your own money mindset, which is really where this all starts. Right?
October is coming.
October is coming. We need to do a lot of money mindset work, because how you grew up and what your parents said to you about money, and what you say to your own children if you have children about money, and the way you live your lifestyle is often going to be really like a x-ray into how you feel and how you talk about money when you start to really dig into what you learned as a kid.
This is like a whole month of talk. We could talk for a whole month on this.
Oh my God. And it's actually really does start with this. What is making everyone so uptight about money? Why do you put yourself in the shoes of your client all the time and say, like, well, that's a lot of money for them to spend. Maybe I shouldn't charge that much. That's never in my, in my repertoire. It is, am I giving value for what I'm charging? And will the clients get the result for that money? And that is even beyond, that's even first before everything that we're talking about. So you want to do that all the month of October, money mindset?
Oh my gosh, we could. I got to a point in my life where I was sitting and meditating, and I was trying to work on money mindset, and I could not say the words, money is good. I couldn't say it. It wasn't possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm at money is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Money is great, right?
Oh, I know. I could not say the words. There was so much gunk and sitting on top of that. I was terrified of money, terrified of it. And that dictated so many things.
I had totally have money mindset stories as well of when I did my money mindset work. So I think we need to do this. Yeah. I think we do a month. October is money mindset month. Bring everybody forward to where they're not as uptight all the time. Mm-hmm. Would that help everybody? If you're listening, let us know. If you're watching on replay, hit hashtag replay and say, yes, let's do some money mindset work, because it all starts with here, and knowing your worth, knowing your value, and then being able to present it just like you're presenting pancakes for breakfast.
Pancakes.
I know, I haven't had pancakes in so long. I might have to have some pancakes now. All right, everyone. So take the anxiety out of talking money with your clients. Start to really know your numbers. Don't stick your head in the sand. Read over your contracts again, especially the money sections, and understand what you're presenting. And then look at the vocabulary you're using and try it out. Try it out on somebody who doesn't know your industry, and see if they understand what you're saying. If they don't, then you need to modify your vocabulary to make them understand. And I love Phyllis. Yes, I need money mindset. Okay, Phyllis.
We're on it, Phyllis. We got you.
We got you. Yeah, it's really one of my favorite subjects. I have so many stories. I'm sure you do too. So we're going to do it. All right. So we will pick our topics for October. It's all going to be money mindset stuff. So tune in. We're going to take you up to the next level in the fourth quarter of 2021. I'm excited. All right, everyone, go have a great Tuesday. And Megan and I will see you next Tuesday with a money mindset topic.
Awesome.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.